lead us in the invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege we have to call on you tonight and to recognize you as our Lord. Thank you for the privilege we have to be in this city, God. We thank you, Lord, for those who will be representing us and making decisions. Pray, God, you would touch them tonight, Lord, and give them discernment and wisdom to follow your direction. Help us to be a place of righteousness and holiness in your sight. Touch us now, God, as we go into this meeting. Let everything that's done be done for your glory. In Christ's name we give you praise. Amen.
Amen. I will have the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone, welcome tonight. We're glad to have you. Hope we'll get this thing underway. First thing. Comments first. Anyone like to speak tonight? If the podium, state your name, you're welcome to speak.
Candy Bumper, Thunder Road, Silverwater Bowl. I'm just bringing something, I may have already fixed it, but there's a little issue with our billing system. There's been several residents that they've paid their bills online, or I think online, and then the water was cut off after the cutoff. And one gentleman, it's happened 2 months in a row. Mine is even, I did it online one time. I have it drafted now, it's the best for me. But one time a gentleman, mine wouldn't go through online. So I happened to make it a couple days early so I could get it. But I don't know if y'all fixed that or not, but that's been going on several months. And I know we got the new system to make it more efficient. So I don't know, there's bugs in computer systems and billing systems. So I just hope that that's gotten taken care of. And also, I see where y'all are going to talk about accepting Aberdeen Extension. I hope the city will accept that because you'll get PAL bill money. I don't know how much it is. It's not quite that much, but then you guys could, the city could upkeep it with the PAL bill money. And also I wanted to tell all of the council, Shane, Scott, Travis, Phil, and Dwayne, I think you guys are doing a good job, and I hope you will continue to move forward and do some good things like that everybody's been planning over past years, and we have to plan to get to the future, like building a complex that I hope one day, it's not going to be the next 2 years or 3, but I hope y'all can continue to put money in the SIF so that one day that can be built. Thank you.
Anyone else have any comments tonight?
You're not discussing about getting the sewer system away,
Now, if you have anything you'd like to comment about, this is the time of citizens. You won't be allowed to speak Anyone like to speak
Well,
about anything?
not that in my opinion accounts for anything. Well, Darryl Tate.
What's your,
Darryl Tate, D-A-R-Y-L-L T-A-T-E.
what's your address?
Huh?
Your address?
307 Lynn Street in Lowell.
Okay.
28098. Anything else? All right, thank you. If we're going to give our sewer system away, I think we ought to vote to be annexed by the city of Gastonia. It's ridiculous. We need to, in my opinion, Randlow has their own water system. There's no reason Lowell couldn't do that also and provide the services for the city. There's absolutely nothing against Gastonia. I work there, and I think they're pretty good people. But if we're going to be a city, we need to be a city. If we're going to be a dependent, foreign entity down here, then we just need to quit pretending. And we don't need the people who probably have a continually lower tax rate if we are annexed by the city. And so I just think it's a poor idea to give our sewer system away. And I would say one more thing. I didn't realize y'all were up here to talk about Aberdeen. I want to tell you, the folks at North Point have been better to me than anybody in my city has been. They've treated me better. I called the last city manager and never get a call. I've called Tyler twice, no return call. And I mean, that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not real thin-skinned. But if we're going to be a city, we ought to act like a city. And Larry, Katie didn't mention you, but I think you're doing a good job along with the other people also. And did that hurt you? No, I was talking about Julie, not you. You say whatever you want to. But anyway, that's really all I had to say. And like I say, I like North Point. I think might be a little problem with the road where they're on Church Street. It's hard to see, but it would be easily correctable by knocking that berm down a little bit. I think. But other than that, I don't think there's a thing wrong with it. And like I say, the people with North Point are a hell of a lot easier to deal with than the people in Laurelwood. So that's all I have to say.
Harold, thank you for speaking. I tell you, it's really makes me feel good to know how hard you've had to come up through the ranks too. And it's never been easy. Just like for North Point, it's not been easy for them either. But here's the thing about it: we're all in this thing together. If everyone works together, it's going to be the best little town in the world. If everyone continues to go in separate directions and going downhill, we're going to have problems. But anyway, that's why I get in trouble with some of these refugees. I mean, humans. Anyway, so anyone else have anything to speak? Yeah.
My name is Charles Scoggin, live at 6005 Cloninger Court. And I don't know who's the manager, the city council, or what, but Grove Street needs some repair. There's been a pile of trash piled up there for like 2 months. I piled it up there myself and nobody's touched it. We'd like to have some kind of repair on that street at all costs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's, Mr. Scott, that's a state road. When they knocked the hole down there, we got it fixed pretty quick. But Mr. Murdoch is our representative. When they had the power pole go down on McCampbell Road that Sunday night, for 2 days, people had nowhere to get around. But I got a hold of him and also Mr. Pearson, our public works director at the time. They cleaned it up. But there's starting to be a big push from the state, Murdoch and all of them, to come through here and clean all these state roads up, all these, like we used to years ago. The city used to do it. But we got so far out of bounds where we don't understand what we should be doing. But you're 100% right. But once they get all these state maintained roads and all these right-of-ways cleaned up, it'll be like it used to be. This used to be the cleanest town in the world, and everyone sitting back there knows that's the truth. But now look at us. We got stop signs bent over everywhere, all over the place. It's a sham, and we pay taxes and we work hard, and it should be cleaned up. But I think under our acting city manager, I think we're going to see a big difference. And but thank you for coming up tonight and speaking. Thank you, and thank everyone for speaking. Anyone else have any comments tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
My name is Richard Lynch. I live at 613 White Oak Drive here in Lowell. Now, I don't know about most of you, but the way I feel is that our government has grown too big, too intrusive, too powerful, too expensive, and totally unaccountable. And to make matters worse, every election process we had this thing where these candidates run and they're going to address the issues for the people. And you have two types of candidates. You have the candidate that says, I'm going to address those issues. They get elected, and lo and behold, they fall in lockstep with the establishment. And then you have other candidates who say, I'm going to address those issues, and they go out there, and what do? They start asking questions. They want to know things. They want to know what's going on. They really are trying to help the people. Now, the latest tactic that we see employed by the government and whoever you want to call it, they go after those people who want the answers. And they use something called lawfare, and they go out and they try to absolutely bury you with legal issues so that they can bankrupt you financially, politically. And the other tactics include where they use law enforcement to harass you, or regulatory agencies to harass you if you're a whistleblower. How dare you question what we're doing? Now, sadly, too many people today don't take the time to ask the questions about government policies and practices. We've become so complacent and trusting of what our political leaders tell us and their advocates tell us. Now, I personally believe that government, religion, and business should not intermingle or partner up. And that is important to address how our government has become such a burden on our society. Now, while I do not agree with Mr. Mayor Simon's manners and his name-calling or his tactics, I do commend him for questioning things that he thinks need answers to. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, he genuinely believes that there are some better things that we can do here in Lowell. And I don't think it's in the best interest of the citizens of Lowell to have fellow council members call for his resignation instead of addressing his concerns. If his concerns are unfounded, let the facts prove that so. Personal feelings should not be deciding the factor in what is best for the citizens of Lowell. Now, I have stated before in the last meeting that I'm a believer that problems are solved through the exchange of questions, truthful answers, and ideas. And questions deserve answers, and the answers should not create more questions. And personally, I'm not so sure that some of our council members are willing or capable of doing that. Now, over the last month, I met with our wastewater treatment facility operator, and I met with his assistant, as well as the mayor. I met with some council members, and I met with the acting city manager. Now, here's some of the information that I have gathered from those meetings. And I challenge anybody to prove these people wrong. This is not from me. This is information that's available to anybody who wants to find it. 1. Our wastewater treatment can process 600,000 gallons of waste a day. Now, we currently use between 190,000 to 200,000 gallons a day. That's roughly 34%, 32 to 34% of its capacity. The total processed gallons in our last fiscal quarter, which was April, May, and June, was 18.3 million gallons, or 36% of our capacity. I hate boring numbers, but I got to tell you this. One of the main reasons for the spikes in our intakes is due to what is called infiltration and inflow, which is also called I&I. Now, this is when rainwater and other matter gets into our collection system. Now, for you folks who don't know, and I didn't know this either, I went out and got educated. Rainwater and other matter is now supposed to be in our sewer system. Sewer system is supposed to handle our water from our houses and things like that. But we've got a problem because there's things getting into our wastewater that shouldn't be there. And to prove that, the gentleman who runs the plant down there says he's actually found logs, end of tanks, 4 inches in diameter and 2 foot long. How's that possible? Our collection system is in desperate need of repairs and upgrades, which should be handled through the revenues that are generated by water and sewer. And I'll get to that in a minute. 600,000 capacity that is exceeded is only exceeded 3 to 4 times a year, and that is a result of storm events. Let me have this. I just want to show you. I went down and I got the chart. That was the storm event we had last week. You see that? That's when we get inundated with stuff going through the system that shouldn't be there. So I did my homework. I went down and found out things. Okay. If my time's up, I'm sorry.
Still got a few minutes.
Okay.
Just one more minute, other than that, one more
Can you turn it on? Turn it off.
one more minute.
Chief, you know how to turn that off.
Well, I'll tell you what. So there's some stats, there's some figures here, there's some further questions I have for council. If anybody's interested, I brought copies. You can get copies of the data I collected. But here's a question I have. Our wastewater treatment facility produces $680,000 a year revenue for the city of Lowell.
Right.
$680,000. What they're suggesting, or what somebody's suggesting, and this doesn't make any sense to me, they want us to go out and borrow $5 million, get a $2 million grant, upgrade the system or change the system, and then turn it over to somebody so that they can generate $680,000 for themselves and charge it back to us. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't make sense to me. I'll tell you another thing I found out. In the fiscal year from June of 23 to July of 24, Lowell purchased 132 million gallons of water. 132 million. And that costs Lowell $462,000, of which we cannot account for 37 million gallons of water, which is $129,000. That's $10,000 a month that the people of Lowell can't account for. And there's a form out there that says water unaccounted for. So there are a lot of questions that this mayor has brought up, and I just think that they need answers.
Point of order. Mayor, shut it down. He's already, I gave him an extra minute.
I understand. What he's-
All right.
I totally understand, and
I mean,
I've talked to him.
He did a lot of work for you.
But I understand, but
And we
we,
did-
Folks, if anybody's interested, I have the questions here that I was going to present tonight and other data, but thank you for your time.
Thank you, Richard, for doing all the work you've done, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I wish all the citizens would get with him and get all this information, because everything he's telling you is true. Everything, all this stuff, it came from the water reports here, the sewer reports, went to get on, got our account number.
There's a motion to move on.
We're moving on. but I'm-
no, sir, we need to have the point of order.
But anyway, thank you, Richard, and,
Mr. Lynch,
I want
please
every
give me a
citizen to
call.
work hard.
What's that?
please give me a call. You've got my number. Please give me a call
If every citizen-
sometime tomorrow.
If every citizen working as hard as he does, we'd have it made. But thank you, Richard, and, yeah, we'll move
No
on.
problem.
Anyone else like to
I
speak?
love my town.
Okay, so, thank you, Richard. Anyone else like to speak?
Cheryl, is it on YouTube? People are texting, so it's not, okay.
Why is it not on YouTube?
Because it's not able to get started today.
It's not.
We need a motion for that point of order.
Second.
We've already moved on.
Still need a motion.
You can go ahead and vote for point of order, but point of order's intact.
I understand, but there's still
You have any
procedures.
discussion on motion second, or you happy? You want to vote for the point of order, go ahead. All in favor? Thank you. No one opposed? I'm not even opposed to moving on. I'm gonna try to get it tonight. But why is this not on tonight?
It's not working.
The system's not working. It's not being recorded on YouTube. She said that a minute ago, before we started.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I think it's a shame that I think we've got all this paper, all this
So
stuff.
it's already been a motion and vote, so you
We're
need to
moving
go
on
to
there, Joe.
the next
We're moving-
speaker.
we're moving on. Anyone else like to speak tonight? Now we'll move on to the agenda. Thank you. The adoption of agenda for this meeting, need a motion for that.
Just let me make one update on this 8D in the packet. In the closed session, that is going to be, we still are going to have that. There was a link provided in your packet that we're not going to reference.
At the bottom of the page 82.
That's correct, yes.
And to, I spoke to Mr. Robinson earlier about some of those things. Mr. Robinson, if you'll look on some of those, they had 6E and like pages 31, was it 30, 31? And I just kind of figured it out. It had reference. It was referencing back to the parts of the minutes. You see on the,
Yes, and where it says budget, number 2, that will not be referenced on 8D.
but I was just letting him, but you started talking about Mr. Up here at the top, it says 6F on page 33.
Yeah, one we're talking about.
Yeah, one we were talking about earlier.
Just wanted to make that clear. But everything else in the agenda is good.
I make the motion, we adopt this agenda for the meeting tonight.
Have a second?
So under discussion, before we go, are we removing 8D?
No, 8D will still be there. It's just that the memo that was under there, we will not reference that under the closed session.
The agenda's correct, there's one item in the materials that's going to be deleted. I know they were, earlier I think they were removing 8D, so now
We're just, we're going to keep 8D, we're just going to remove that memo that was in there.
8D or 8B? 8D is the closed session minute.
Yeah, there was a memo on there.
Oh,
It's put in there by mistake. It should not have been.
This right here.
Next thing on the agenda is going to be the special call city council meeting minutes on which.
We're gonna vote on the,
You already voted on that. You
Not on the agenda?
That's right, I had discussion, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? All in favor? Yes, now, the next thing is gonna be the approval of minutes for May 30th, 2024. Make a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the special council meeting for May 30th.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Next thing, special call city council meeting July the 2nd. Larry Junior's birthday. What happened?
Make a motion that we approve the special called city council meeting for July the 2nd.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Thirdly, 2C approval minutes of July the 9th, on his birthday, 2024. We have a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve the minutes from July 9th, 2024.
Have a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. The consent agenda is going to consist of the planning report, public works report, finance report, stormwater report, police report, parks and recreation. Have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. Now, business, we don't have any new business acceptance of Aberdeen Extension, so I guess that'll be brought up by you. Thank you, Mayor Scott.
So who seconded that last motion? Thank you.
I abstained from that as well. Cheryl, I was not here that
Abstain for the agenda?
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the approval of minutes from 79.
Okay. So I can't see you all very well. I'm writing all this stuff down, so.
Okay, let's go on to 6A, acceptance of Aberdeen Extension. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so in your packet on page 45, you can see that I have a resolution, put a resolution in your packet. This resolution is to accept maintenance for Aberdeen Extension. Aberdeen Extension has been brought to us for acceptance of this. It has been inspected by the city's engineer and found that it has been constructed to the required standards and specifications of law.
Go ahead, we need a motion for a second, we're going to have discussion.
Make a motion, we accept Aberdeen Extension.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay, under discussion, I have some questions as far as how can you accept this when it never was approved by the Lowell City Council? And how can you accept this when you have to have ordinances govern this street? And it's not even a street, it's really a driveway. And then how do you come into the state road, which is Church Street, without any kind of legal signage as far as you got tractor trailers coming out, school's starting back? And how do you anticipate, and if you don't have the ordinances and someone has a wreck, it's like they go down through there 300 miles an hour, you don't have an ordinance, you don't have nothing to govern that. You need to have an ordinance on all these streets, new streets, whatever. And also, when you cross over Church Street, which is, what is that called? Is that going to be Aberdeen also? The new street on, between Kenny and
That's no Aberdeen Extension.
Okay, so you're saying you're adopting that as well, correct?
We're adopting Aberdeen Extension, yes,
So
sir.
all the way down to where it goes to Kenworth, crosses over Cobb Street into
To the,
Kenworth.
yes, to the
So
city.
where's your ordinance? I mean, you're an attorney. You need to lead us and guide us as far as, we have to have an ordinance for these streets, speed limit signs,
Yeah.
the whole verbiage.
They don't work.
Stop signs,
The
everything.
street requirements are in the technical design street manual, and that specifies how the streets need to be built, what the requirements are. And that's what the city engineer has reported to the manager that's been inspected and completed to that standard.
That being the case, I mean, it's set down there for, what, year and a half, but those barriers across there, and nothing really changed as far as, except you're moving the barriers, and they put some, I guess what do you call it, where you cross the center line thing, or where you come up to Church Street, where the markings will tell you this is a state road, that's in the city limits of the Lowell. It's like all state roads, and that's, when it goes to the state. But Aberdeen, what you call an Aberdeen Extension, which is not Aberdeen Extension, it's a driveway. But you can call it a street if you want to. But it's really a driveway, never has been approved, no one can find any minutes where it's ever approved. Now you're gonna have all this traffic coming out of Aberdeen, whatever you wanna call it, and then crossing over Church Street. With all the traffic from Church Street, we already have a traffic problem. There's nothing out there but a stop sign. There's no signs on Church Street saying, 200 feet, 500 feet, whatever. You're gonna encounter, heavy trucks, 18 wheelers. And I don't even know, how is it feasible for to allow transfer trucks to go down Aberdeen, what you call Aberdeen Extension, once you cross over Church Street? That's just it's never been rezoned. All this stuff that y'all done is crammed everything down the citizens' throat. I don't like it. I don't think the citizens are gonna like it once you have all these traffic problems. And when someone gets killed, what are the laws, Mr. Attorney? What are the laws as far as Church Street and also Aberdeen?
The laws for that street, Mr. Simons, are the same laws that apply to every street. You don't have a law or an ordinance that applies to an individual street.
And it was approved on January 10th, 2023. That's when it was approved. I'll be glad to get a copy of those minutes to you.
We never saying when people look on this council,
I will say, I seen that memorandum that says that Aberdeen Extension was approved on January 10th. If you go back and look at the minutes, on January 10th, they actually made amendments to the LDO. They didn't accept the street or not accept the street. It's basically, here's the agenda from that date, here's the minutes, but according to the minutes, they didn't accept the street, they just made text amendments to the LDO that are not just for that street, but for every industrial street.
So as far as accepting the road will not be accepted
Yes.
until it's signed to this resolution.
Till today,
Yes,
or
correct.
till whenever.
Yeah, whenever it's accepted, yes.
Let me ask you this, what's the speed limit sign on Aberdeen? You're calling this Aberdeen Extension, what is the speed limit?
You won't have a speed limit right now, because at this point, before we accept it, it's private.
I understand, once you accept it,
Once
what
we
was the speed
accept
limit?
it,
What was the speed
then
limit?
that's the city.
If it's unposted, it'll be 35.
35.
Just like
Unposted is
on
35.
regular driver's ed, speed limit's 35 unless otherwise posted. But once the city accepts it, then the city can go in there and put their speed limit signs up and put the markings on the road, whatever.
I understand what you're saying, but I understand this, please. The citizens of Lowell travel Church Street every day, every blessed day. This new deal coming crossing over Church Street, going down Aberdeen, up that way, going down Kenworthy. And another thing that all this has to coincide is the fact Kenworthy is still just a municipal street, not no where you can even accept 18-wheelers on that street. I mean, all this stuff, you got your stuff too far ahead of where you need to be at all. It should be, what should be happening is just calling for where we have a work session or something, discuss all these things, rather than just come in here half-cocked and say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and the people of the Lord are gonna have to adhere to it. And that's a fact. If you vote on it, yes, you're gonna make a lot of people urinate. Of course, you are used to that. But I don't like people cramming stuff down the citizens' throat. Just like Shane pointed out, this never was adopted. Never was adopted. Never was adopted. But tonight.
Well, hold on, let me hear what Mr. Robbins is getting ready to say.
I think that's what this means.
Yes, you're gonna make it, if you adopt it, it'll get adopted tonight, but not on the day he told you. No. If you change it tonight, yes, I agree with you. But you're opening up a can of worms as far as liability and safety for the public. You think that Charlotte Airport, they want to put a runway in, look what they'd have to go through. If you're gonna have a 18-wheelers, to me, is as dangerous as anything, and you can laugh if you want to. 18-wheelers is
Mr.
dangerous.
Simons, can you explain to me what liability? Tell me
What
what
liability? When you
Yes,
allow
please.
those
Hold on. You can talk to me in normal voice.
I'm talking normal.
No, you're not.
That's
You're
my-
raising it. You're raising it. So you can stop, or we can do a point of order and keep it moving. But talk to me in normal voice and explain to me what liabilities that the city would have with this.
Let me ask you this.
No, I'm asking a question. You answer mine, and I'll ask you. You can ask
I'll
me a
answer your
question.
question, please answer mine.
After you get done, let's.
Here's the thing about it, I agree with you. We have a right to ask questions, 100%. Before you adopt this, I think it should be a public hearing.
You're still beating around the bush. Point of order, let's move on.
I'm not beating around the bush, I'm
Point
telling
of-
you, when
point of
you
order.
asked me about the law.
Point of order's been called.
and
Please, let's
citizens
move on.
of Lowell should have to be informed about this.
Point of order's been
You
cooked.
can dodge
There's
and
been a
you can
call
dodge
on
and
your sides for
we got a point of order,
Right, so.
All right, let's hear them.
but we still have discussion. But go ahead.
No,
Not if there's been a
We're
request.
gonna vote on the point of order, if you'll allow them to vote, we have a motion.
The way
We have
the
a
point of
second.
order works is once the point of order is called, you quit talking about what you're talking
We're
about, and let's
talking
move
about
on.
a second for your motion for point of order.
I
Have a
tried to
second
get you to
for point of
answer,
order.
but you wouldn't answer me.
We have a second for point of order.
I'll second.
Okay, you have discussion now, or no more discussion? Be honest.
You need
Is
to
Robert
vote on
Rules
the
of
point
Order?
of order.
Any more discussion on the point of order? All in favor of point of order? Okay.
Unanimous. So now, let's move on, please.
We're talking about the street.
So there's been a motion and a second, and so the point of order is essentially
We'll have more
called for.
discussion once they make a motion to adopt it, and let's do a discussion for that. Okay.
I think there
I
is.
make a motion to approve the acceptance.
We've already done that, we've got a second. All in favor is at this point, correct?
The motion's on the floor to go ahead and accept this resolution to allow this to be a street.
On the discussion part, Shane, would you have, when you was wanting to discuss that even further, since we couldn't get nothing accomplished here, would you like to table this motion for the next month, and so we can discuss it, maybe discuss it further? Or,
Or if we have any questions pertaining to North Point, I've got North Point here and Kimley Horn.
I understand that, but we've got a point of order to move to the motion.
under discussion of the motion to approve, would you like to set, or like to substitute a motion to
According to the
table?
rules, I can't. I mean, it's, you know, it's gotta go to a vote.
We'll chalk that up to Mr. Simons not to keep on running his mouth, so. Trying to get something
I'm just trying to
accomplished.
follow the rules.
I understand that, and I totally, and I wish Mr. Simons would do the same thing, and I just wish things would be a whole lot easier in this council.
We got a motion to adopt this, Aberdeen into a street, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you have a second?
Yes, we did.
Who? Motion second, we are allowed to have discussion on it.
That was it. We killed it.
We had
We
discussion.
gotta move on.
You had the point of order to
gotta go.
end the
All in
discussion.
favor of making this a street? All opposed? Thank you. I tell you what, this is really disheartening.
Well, you're disheartened, sir.
Yeah, you're disheartening, you ought to resign. Next thing on here is,
It-
consideration of financial.
Before we keep on going, if you'd like for me to resign, I'll be glad to walk out right now, and you will have no council here, because I believe me and another one's already talked about that. So,
You got a consideration.
is that what you want me to do, sir?
That's up to you.
I'm asking you.
You got a consideration of finance proposal for new dump truck.
Lisa's gonna present that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Fowler. We sent out bids for proposal to get financing for this new dump truck that Public Works needs. We only got 2 bids back. One was from First American and the other one was United Financial. And you have all that in your packet, but based on the financing rate from United Financial, with the amount of money that it's going to save the city of Lowell, that's what staff recommends for the financing. Anybody have any questions?
Why would you be financing something when we got all this money in the bank, why don't we get financed?
Because we need to have that other money available for possible emergencies, so we finance big purchase items.
What's the total purchase price?
$95,000.
We got $7,700,000.
Not all that is able to be spent.
Anyway, I don't know, it's up to the council, you have to make a decision, but, but any reasonable company, family, or whatever, to pay for things when you have the money. I don't know how much more we still owe on these other things, I don't know whether we ever have that report. But again, it's up to the council, do whatever you want to do. This is your recommendation to do this.
Yep.
You said which company?
United Financial, also known as Home Trust.
How many trucks do we have now, 3 or 2?
I believe we have 2 right now. We have 3 trash trucks currently.
I know we have a lot of other avenues. I know McCown, Cramerton, they sub their garbage out now. They don't even, they sub it out and save a fortune. We're still back in the stone age, we got trucks, and we got to take care of employees and equipment. And if we, at this time, I would recommend that you, no rush, because you got 3 trucks, and surely get it fixed now. To find out what it would
You're
cost.
talking about a dump truck, not trash trucks.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about tractor, excuse me, I beg you this honor. All right, I didn't know we needed a dump truck, we may need a dump truck. Go ahead, what's the council pleasure?
I make a motion that we finance this with with United Financial. Purchase a new dump truck.
Second.
What's the interest rate?
4.48%.
4.4, and we could borrow our own money against our own money, not have to pay anything back, just pay it back in increments. That's business, that's how business people do it. The discount was just making your own decision, so you got a motion second to go out and borrow money that you already have, that you could use your own money against the money that you're borrowing for. Mr. Attorney, you know that. But it's up to the council, so any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. All right, have anything else?
At least we'll be presenting 6B as well,
Go ahead.
or 6C, excuse me.
All right.
We have, for your consideration, budget amendment number 27 is to receive revenues in excess of what was budgeted for last fiscal year. This is fiscal year 23-24. This is in the general fund. You can see there attached all the revenues and the expenses. In order to have a balanced budget, we have to show the expenses that correspond.
Have a motion to budget amendment. Number 27.
Motion to approve budget amendment number 27 for budget ordinance fiscal year 23-24.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Sorry, go ahead.
So, kind of going through some of these, Lisa, just kind of hitting the big ones because, if you look at the taxes, looks like we received basically almost 400,000 in addition to what we budgeted.
Yes.
Do we know what the majority of that's from? What did we miss some? I know we typically get a statement from the county that says, hey, this is going to be your tax rate. This is going to be your projected taxes. I know that can change, that's just a large number.
Just want to preface this by saying I didn't do the budget.
I understand that.
But it was my understanding that with the revow last year, there was some concern that there would be a lot of, a lot of people contesting, and that we wouldn't receive as much revenue as we had normally expected in another year because of the revow. And that's the only thing that I'm aware of.
If it clears, if I recall, in that budget year, last budget year, we, the recommendation was to consider 90% of what maybe perhaps the county said would be there as a result of people protesting and so on and so forth. And so that would,
I know there's always a
it was too
percentage.
conservative, basically.
I know that you always do that, but
Yeah.
it seems that the prior years too, that we had received an additional 31,000.
Yeah, this one was a little bit larger because of the kind of unknown with that.
That's when it says we got slaughtered when it doubled the reevaluation, didn't lower the tax rate, and then as you get more than like $400,000, you're trying to buy a dump truck for $95,000. It's up to me to take that and pay cash for it, not borrow money, that's none of my business, I guess. But you got a motion and a second, and any more discussion?
Yeah, so with that, we got another one, the plan review and inspection. Seems like we brought in a substantial number from that one that we didn't do. Now, when you look down at the expenditures, we had an exceptional increase in expenditures. Basically 78.5, 78.1 for the revenues. So do those offset? Is that some that, hey, maybe we had a big project that we brought that in? There again, it was paid out in the expenditures for the same year, so that one got equaled out.
Yes, so basically for the engineer reimbursement, so we allocate that money for any kind of plan review, any kind of construction. So when we get that money in, they may be only allotted X number of reviews, okay? So that's gonna be one. We're gonna charge them for X, okay? If that is kicked into some additional reviews, we will bring in more money, which would cause that number to be higher. Because again, we're estimating one, but again, depending on how many reviews we have to do, it could escalate that.
And I know a lot of this is estimates, you're basing on what you think you're gonna bring in. I'm just trying to highlight a lot of these, and then like our expenditures, we were over, we expended, our professional services, we budgeted $120,000, but we spent $293,000. So I'm trying to figure out on that one, and I know you don't have the answer to this right now, but I would like to know what additional professional services that we had that we went, basically 2 times over our budget for.
Yeah, I'll get that information for you.
We'll get that for you.
I think that was the big ones that I had questions on.
That all goes back to why you really need an audit, because you get all this excess money, and every year the budget's always misstated, overstated the expenditures and understated the revenue. And if you keep doing that, I don't care who you are, people want to ask questions. In my business, if I had cars, sold cars, and at the end of the year, I didn't make what I was supposed to make, and I already did my homework, all that stuff needs to be legitimately looked at. And I know this council, before we got elected, everyone wanted, the ones that won wanted an audit. But now we're in the middle of budgeting and transferring money in leaps and bounds. $400,000 is a little excessive as far as missing what you're supposed to take in. And just like in the fire department, I know this is all along the same.
Point of order, please.
Point of order about what?
You're going off
Well, you not know you, that your fire department losing $400,000 a year.
We're down to a.
Okay, let's go ahead, we don't even have to vote on it, let's just go ahead, you got a motion and a second, and I don't think you want to talk about anything as far as, being conservative and understanding where your money is. That's, to me, that's being rude.
Point of
to the
order.
mayor.
There's a point of order, Mayor, so you have to follow the.
We got to vote on it, we got a motion on the floor, or
Well,
have a
if there
second.
is, then you need to vote on it.
So you have a second,
Yes, there is.
any discussion?
Who's the second?
All in favor on the point of order? Anyone opposed?
Yeah, and I had some additional questions there, but I'll get with you.
Who was the
on this.
second?
I mean, it's just it's unconscionable, you can't even discuss anything in this meeting. I mean, this is a public meeting, and everyone has a right to speak, Mr. Attorney. But go ahead, what's your next thing on the agenda?
So have a
Well, that
motion
was
on-
to-
I thought you voted, I'm sorry. All in favor of the motion, accept this to make a change in the budget amendment for this $400,000 expenditure budget.
Nobody's made the motion.
I make the motion, we have a second.
Got a motion second. And this is the number 28, correct?
27.
27.
Or number 27?
27.
All in favor of number 27? All opposed? Thank you. 6D, number 28. Go ahead, please.
This is consideration of budget amendment number 28, also for fiscal year 23-24. This budget amendment is actually to move funds from the CIF, the Community Investment Fund, to the general fund to cover the purchase of the property at 201 North Main Street and the property at 715 North Main Street. These properties have already been purchased, and since they are assets, they had to be purchased out of the general fund. So that's why we're moving the money from the CIF back to the general fund to purchase this property and cover that.
Make a motion to approve budget amendment number 28.
Have a second.
Second.
Under discussion, the SIF money is all money anyway, is that not correct?
Yes.
This SIF money came from, the money we went to the SIF came from ARPA funds, is that correct?
So some of the SIF money did come from ARPA funds, and then some came from the amount that was over 50% of the general fund balance from last fiscal year, from fiscal year 21-22.
If I'm not mistaken, the last meeting, we just had, we were still here, they put money back in to where he purchased property, the money came in for something we had to readjust the budget then, last month, is that not true? The money for purchasing the property beside the park.
No, sir, that's a different grant. that we received. This doesn't have anything to do with this particular budget amendment and the SIP funds.
It's all taxpayers' money, it's all money that came into the city. You're moving stuff around, which is fine to do, you can move money around. But the bottom line is all these totals you gave us here the other day, that's correct as well. So what's the people of the council here, what do you want to do? You want a motion to pass?
I'd just like to ask, what's the total for each property? Do you know that? Do you have them broke down?
Tyler, do you still have that? I can't remember if I kept a copy and brought it with me.
So the purchase of the,
Boys and Girls Club was like 503,000 total.
the purchase for the Boys and Girls Club is $503,337.
How much of that was taxpayers' money? Any other taxpayers' money, or just all ARPA money?
That was ARPA money.
And what was the next one, Shane?
And
337.
503,337. That was for the Boys and Girls Club.
And then the 201 North Main property beside the church.
Yep.
Can't remember.
Bruce, let's see. 285. 943.50.
That agreement to purchase, it's also, we take care of all the property, right? All the maintenance, whatever. So we have a motion to adopt this. You got a motion, second, any discussion, excuse me. Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Any more discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Thank you. Lisa, you have another one?
Yes, consideration of budget amendment number 29. This is to receive revenues in excess of budgeted for the water and sewer fund. Please note that these budget amendments have to be done in order to not throw any flags with the LDC. I did speak with Sheila Thornton about this, and she recommended. So that's why you're seeing this. And of course, I didn't have anything to do with the budget. I'm just making sure that the numbers are fixed for the year end.
What are you asking for?
Make a motion to accept the budget amendment number 29.
Second.
Have a motion, second, any discussion? All in favor? All right, next thing, I guess is gonna be the public works facility.
So, on July 11th, in the council meeting on July 11th, 2023, it was approved that we move forward with doing an RFQ for the public works facility design. And so they, during that council meeting, they recommended that we select from a list of 10 architects that we have here on call, the city of Lowell, and that we move forward with this. And again, we don't need to make a vote on this tonight. I just kind of want to get, see if that was something we still wanted to do, continue to move forward, get these designs for the public works facility, and get any recommendations that you may have.
We're not obligated to something last year, this is all new for us, correct?
So staff did, city staff recommended that we go with the companies that were approved during that meeting. And again, we can revisit that, but again, I just wanted to get your recommendations on what y'all would like to do moving forward with the public works facility.
Has any money been spent on these?
No money has been spent, no, that's why I'm bringing it up again, because again, we need to, if this is something that y'all were interested in doing.
Yeah, I'd like to know the cost of these designs.
Okay, no, well, yeah, we don't have any.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, I'd like to know the cost of these designs.
We haven't done
Before I can make a determination.
Yeah, so we haven't done any interviewing of these companies or anything. Again, I was simply just wanting to get y'all's recommendations on moving forward.
So is the question to council, do you want direction to move forward or to stop?
If that's your,
all
yeah,
public
it's,
works?
yeah, if your direction is to move forward in getting these, bids for a design and selecting a company, we will do the interviewing, for this, and again, we've made a selection, we will make a selection based on, you know, the criterias, you know, that kind of y'all are looking to do.
And that's the only way you're gonna get what Shane was asking, the amounts.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But again, we need to have a discussion on, you know.
Well, first we gotta decide who to go
Correct.
with, this certain amount to go with, and then they'll give us bids.
Yeah, no money has been spent moving to this. Again, we just have a list of, I'll be glad to get that list to you, of the architects that were approved back in July.
Take bids, you wouldn't be paying out any money to take bids, would you?
No, we're just gonna scope it out.
Didn't you already have a design for that thing for public works?
We had an indoor render.
Yeah, I think we just, you know. But again,
Engineer
I
drawings.
don't have a problem with reaching out and getting design costs and things like that. I would like to see the list of, if you'll get me those,
Yes.
I'm okay with
Do we need a motion to approve to give you direction to move forward in the next phase of?
You do not need a motion. I think the city manager is just asking for the consensus of the council for direction and what to do.
There'll be no action on this. City manager search.
Are you clear that I think everybody wants you to?
Yes, so in your packet, it's one of my responsibilities as the interim city manager to get your direction on the next city manager job search. I have provided a list of potential partners that we may use if that's what this council chooses to do. Again, I just need some direction on, you know, who y'all would like to use as far as the list I provided, or any other direction you have moving forward with this new city manager search.
For me, I would just like to say this, I think we need a work session, basically where we sit down and we all discuss, hey, this is the qualifications. I think this individual, as a whole, needs to come together and say, this is the job description, this is the requirements, you know, just set the, that's just my thoughts.
I kinda agree with that.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
I've been part of one of these in the past, and that's how we've done it. I've been part of two of them, but one of them, they just hired somebody. We need to sit down as a council in a work session and discuss.
I commend the council on the way we're doing it. We have an interim manager doing a good job. We're going through the process, and we'll be advertised properly. And the council sit down with all of them and see what we can come up with. Not just coming in here out of the wild and bringing someone up. Somewhere to this city manager to go the right way.
So that's what, so that's all you need is just to set us up a work
Yeah,
session?
we'll set up a work time, we'll set up a work session.
I think mostly for Shane and Bill, Thursday, Fridays afternoons. We all work schedules.
Friday afternoon, Thursday afternoon.
And I'll get with everybody to kind of get, you know, some times and days, what will work for everybody.
City manager report.
Yes, so, let's see. Just want to go over a few things as far as the bulk pickup. And, it was brought to my attention, so we're going to start in September, the bulk pickup. We're going to start the second week of September. I know originally we had talked about doing the first, but the first week will be a holiday, so it'll be a short week. So we're going to go with the second week in September for bulk pickup. Moving forward, after September, it's going to be the first week of every month. So just for September, it's going to be the second week. Moving forward, it will be the first week of the month.
Each one.
Have anything else on?
LCC update. LCC has brought up about wanting to do some exterior work to this building. I have not got any of the quotes or anything back. They're wanting to do some pressure washing to the outside of the building. They're wanting to, just freshen up the building a little bit. Again, I haven't got those quotes. Once I receive those and get more updates from the LCC, I'll advise y'all on that.
Good idea, this place is bad out there.
Community center update. The work there is, I think it's about 90% done as far as what they were working on for the last repairs there. We're shooting to get that open the first week of September. So we're shooting for it.
And you still give me the information as far as how much we've already spent on these folks who've been there right now. They did a tremendous job.
Yeah, and I got you the quote on that.
Appreciate that. Anything else?
I believe that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Attorney, you have anything?
Not tonight.
Shane, you have anything?
I do not.
Scott? Travis?
I just thank the citizens for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.
Mr. Bonham?
No.
Sherwood?
No, sir.
All right, these are the things I'd like to bring up. We're gonna have a meeting September 27th, Gaston County Commissioners meeting. I wanna be able to bring up about the fire department where we're paying Gaston County $930,000, we're only getting $509. That's $340,000 that they're getting that we're not getting. There's still a way, an avenue to get this, with Chad Brown, the commissioner, the chairman. We're gonna have a discussion in the interim. But I need the council to vote to allow me to speak on their behalf as to how we can find a way to get this back. $930,000 versus $590, we gotta be ludicrous to give away this kind of money. So, did I have a motion, to endorse this to happen, that we have an opportunity to bring this before the council? I'm gonna do it anyway. I'd rather have your blessing. So, because this is something that's really dear to my heart. I mean, why do we want to give away $340,000 a year? I mean, we gotta be smarter than this. This
I
up here-
spoke with the fire chief, and the Lowell Fire Department has a $2 million fire truck being built right now. It's gonna take a 2-year process. That money goes into a bucket for certain things like that, so that's in the works. That's where a lot of the things are.
I'm glad you brought that up. In fact, you're one of the council members that budgeted a letter fire department, get to the county.
I know a lot more about that than
But
you
this
do.
is, it's a terrible thing, Mr. Smith. And what the
You seem
league,
to be the only
the
one that
league,
thinks that.
I'm not the only one that thinks that. $340,000 a year going to them, and listen, we can do the same thing they're doing. We can borrow money. We can do what needs to be done. We don't, and we'd have never lost the fire department to the county at the old administration, your board, your manager, not made the fire chief mad and angry over those garage doors. Then they come up here and we all gotta pay for your mistakes. And it was a terrible mistake to go to the county.
If anybody would like to reach out to the fire chiefs and listen to the truth versus Larry, I would suggest you do so.
You better come and settle down on that part because this is the truth. We're paying them $930,000 a year. Have you done any research at all? You just come in here and vote.
Did you research the $2
Yes, sir.
million fire truck that's being built?
Mayor.
Or were you
Yes.
just gonna leave that one out?
Speaking about the fire department, April 12, 2022, I believe, it was in the minutes, where you were in agreement with the council for the fire department to go to the county.
Because why? Because the
I'm
fire
just
chief
saying you were in
recommended, but
agreement
no
with
one knew the particulars. And they didn't do any investigation, they just voted to do it. They didn't have a public hearing.
I understand.
And that's
that,
what
but I'm saying-
irritates me. That
I had several meetings with the fire chief before that discussion
You
was
voted
had.
to give up $340,000 a year for the citizens. That's the truth. Anyone else have any, I just want a recommendation from the board to go before them and talk about this. Better than what we had before. We had no dialogue before, they just did it. They came in here and voted this thing in. I don't know when.
Doesn't say that you're gonna do it with or without a vote.
I'd like to have the board approve.
Well, I disapprove.
I'll take care of that. The next thing on here, that I'm gonna need to look for, y'all. Like the lady brought up about the
Then why
water.
did you bring it up?
Huh?
Why did you bring it up? You don't have to have our approval to go talk, that's public
I
comments.
want the citizens to know that they got someone up here trying to get the 340 back. Here's another thing. the water bill, like the lady
But
brought up.
then, if we get the fire department back, that means the taxes are gonna go back up.
You're out of your mind, you're paying 11.5 cents fire tax now. That's how, you don't do no research. You're talking off the cuff.
Okay, don't think I don't.
I'm telling you.
I believe Mr.
11.5
Bates
cent
has
fire tax.
disproved you on a lot of your stuff,
11.5
but
cent
let's,
fire tax.
let's move on.
That's a lot of money, you're giving up $340,000. The next thing I'd like to bring up is the water bill. It's atrocious is what's going on in this city. And we've all talked about revisiting the water bill thing, and that also needs to be a part of your work session, where we can study the way the water's being billed, the way the water's being collected. And listen, if you have a $45 water bill, and you get your water turned off, it's $50 to turn it back on. We have so many things, people, like the lady said a while ago, people are paying their water bills and getting their water turned off after they pay their bills. I mean, there's no reason for it. And there should be some way, and we can talk about that in the work session, to where that they can get notification, you know, before they actually turn their water off, or where they can maybe get some number or something they can call to find out if it's truly been paid, rather than putting those people at so inconvenience to cook their supper with no water. But that's something I like to have put on the work session, but that's up to the council. If you feel like that's something we can do.
I don't know about on the work session with the city manager, Harry, but I would like to discuss something. If you look at some of the fees that the city, you know, that was one of them that was in that budget that was, we projected 40,000, but we took in another 10 over that, we took in 52,000, just in internet fees and things like that, especially if we're having issues with the water getting cut off that we do not. We definitely need to do some investigation on that.
Thinking, when they paid that $37,000 with weather and revenue and do a study as far as the water rates and stuff like that, it should be an in-house
I'm
study.
talking strictly
I know.
reconnect fees.
Right, I'm talking water bills being turned off and payment bills and things like that. We gotta correct that. But would you
I
not?
think we need to tie that into the work session, and I think we need to stick strictly with
So
the
you think this
same
ought to have
thing.
another
So
work?
maybe we either do it at the next council meeting or something
Yeah.
separate.
I think give Tyler some direction as far as he can come up with something, maybe to present to the council next month, as to how we can adhere to these things, where people are getting their water turned off before they get ready to cook the supper. The next thing I'd like to bring up, and this is all my report. Yes, I'd like to sell the old chemical plant over there, the old, chemical plant. If we could sell it and get money for it, but they'd be paying property tax. Rather than us going over there and spending all this money that, you already given us $2 million. And the old blocks over there at Dollar Graffiti have never been painted. You got money to paint the old blocks, I'm sure. And clean that place up and put it up for sale. Advertise and auction it off and get rid of it. It'll bring revenue into the town rather than just being something we gotta take care of for the rest of our life. And I don't think chemicals will ever be really taken care of to where you can do anything with it. But I think it's an opportunity for the city to sell it and recover some of our money. That again, is up to the council. How do y'all feel about that?
Where would you want Public Works to go?
You got it right here.
That needs to be, I think we've already discussed about Public Works.
It's paid for. Need to paint it, clean it up, I agree with that. But, we got the chemical plant now, all those acres as well. But how does the council feel about getting?
Well, I think first of all, we need to find out, can we do anything with it even if we wanted to, or are we tied legally because of the Brownfield agreement and the monies that we've received and all that stuff? That we can or cannot sell it. If we could sell it, given that it's a brownfield site, what is a realistic, market for that property? You know, I think there are a lot of things that need to be looked at. Certainly, I would do my research on that before I came out here publicly and started, saying, well, I got this or that. But
Bad as everything looks over there, and the way it's been handled is pitiful. I mean, the first thing you see when you come in the Lowell Spencer Mountain, but a chemical plant, and it's approaching, and all the money's been spent in taxpayers in North Carolina, $2 million grant for something that we were getting $8,000 a year in property taxes before they agreed to take it without no consideration as to what money we were taking in. $8,000 a year versus what you're spending, what you're going to spend is a big turn. That's up to y'all, I'm just bringing it up for general information. Also, I like to sell the Boys and Girls Club back to the Salvation Army and help them because they would be able to take care of the, you know, what needs to be done and take care of it. We wouldn't have to be spending money on it. And I don't know how much money we spent out on the roof as we bought it. There's going to be more money to be spent. And also, where's the grant money for the ball field? Where is it? money has already been approved, the $200,000 been spent on, what kind of, fees prior to getting the money. Where's the $800,000, when are we gonna start working on the, lawnmower?
So so right now, for the Harold Rankin, they have not, that was on the Parks Master Plan. I believe that's the only thing so far that we've kind of done there. Again, I can get more information on that.
I think we spent quite a bit of money on the, getting grants approved and where they are right now, we've got $200,000, we don't even have a new speaker. But anyway, what's the schedule on that? Do you have any idea of where we are with it?
I don't have any information right now.
Maybe you check on it next month. Another thing I'd like to see us sell, we need to sell this Methodist church property that we paid $279,000 for, that we've got to maintain, cut the grass, keep it up forever. You can only use it for a police department or a city hall. And I would never buy property from a church, other than let it be a church. Just like when Biggerstaff bought the Baptist church on Franklin, he died 3 months later. He came into the meeting, we have a dealer meeting, he said, man, I stole that piece of property on Franklin. I said, what piece of property? He said, the old Baptist church on Franklin, West Franklin. I said, maybe you got to be crazy. I said, that was built for a church, it ought to be a church. And why would we be in the real estate business to buy property from a church? It makes no sense. But I would recommend to the board that we put it back up for sale, even sell it back or even discount it to the Methodist church. Because that way they can take care of their own property. Look at the money we're spending. And you know who uses the property more than anyone? Vendors up there, people parking, using cars, we don't get a dime out of it. Those things that cost us money, I'd like to see things put back into my perspective to where we can not have to keep blowing money right and left. And what good is it? And to buy property from a church, I mean, where do you get these ideas? But anyway, that's just my recommendation. And I guess that concludes my recommendation. But I appreciate you, Tyler, you're doing a heck of a job. And hope everything works out. What's the next item on the business?
Before we continue, Cheryl has asked the attorney, you can explain it better than I
Our
can.
bathroom is, we can't use the bathrooms up here, so I didn't know if we needed to stop the meeting because we don't have working bathrooms.
Is that a concern since it's a public meeting? Or? No, okay.
Yeah, it's not,
Didn't know if it was a legal thing.
Nobody
we had
uses the
to-
bathroom.
not a
Okay.
building code
Okay.
requirement.
Okay, I was just
Do we
wondering.
have a pump problem?
The pump quit working
The pumps
downstairs.
just quit working.
Just
there.
quit working.
Yeah, the pump.
That's working on it.
They're working on it.
They're working on it right now.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you for the information. We need to get it fixed up. All right, the next item on the agenda is a closed session. Motion, I guess y'all want to close session.
Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 2011, Section 3, and also subsection 5 and 6.
Have a motion, have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?